What up, my channel? Welcome back to another video. I'm Jessie E. This is Ravenclaw, and you're watching Buenos Dias BookTube. I am filming my very first read the book and watch the movie review. It is currently 7 in the morning. I've just rolled out of bed, which is why I look like this. I don't have a Christmas headband and I'm really in the Christmas spirit, so I literally just wrapped a sock around my head to keep my curls out of my face. I'm a mess and we're just gonna roll with it. Today I'm going to be binge reading Wonder, which was recently made into a movie that is on Hulu, and then after finishing the book, I will be reading it in thirds. I will update you after each 100 pages, and then we will watch the movie together. I also do have some errands to do today, so I will bring you with me along on those, and I will just be giving you all of my thoughts on this wonderful little story. So if you don't know what this book is about, it features 10-year-old August Pullman, and he is a 10-year-old boy with severe facial deformities who has never attended school before. He's had over 20 surgeries, both medical and cosmetic, on his face, and he is still severely deformed. The book also tells the story of his protective older sister V and his two parents, and kind of about how August's decision to attend school for the first time affects them and the community that they all live in. It is a middle grade novel. I've heard fantastic things about it. I know that there is a sequel. I'm very excited to be reading it. It is by RJ Palacio. I don't know if it's Palacio or Palacio, but she is, I believe, Brazilian. I'm going to make some hot cocoa and hop in the shower so that I can fix this, and then I will start reading the book and update you on my thoughts. Can you leave? Ma'am. You are in for a real treat because I'm about to show you the only correct way to make hot chocolate. And I'm usually one of those people that's like, no, like everybody gets to do it their own way, you know, your own recipe, whatever you feel comfortable with, but yada, yada, yada. But no, I'm not going to be politically correct about this. There is only one way to make hot chocolate, and I'm going to show you how. Step 1 is to grab your adorable Christmassy Jack Frost mug. Step 2 is to eat exactly 3 marshmallows. This way, you curb your taste while you're waiting for it to get done, but you don't spoil your appetite. Step 3 is to add cocoa to your hot water, and then mix sugar-free peppermint mocha as creamer. Finally, cover the surface of the cocoa with marshmallows. You must add so much marshmallows that only the surface tension of the marshmallow ratio to the water is keeping it from spilling. Hey y'all, just filming a quick update on Wonder. I'm on page about 119, and the first thing I want to say about this book is that it shows me why I love reading library books. This book came out in 2012 and it's been pretty popular, so its pages are heavily creased and they feel like velvet. I love reading books and touching books that I know other people have put a lot of love and energy into. It makes me feel as if I'm part of like a sisterhood of traveling pants, but with a book. So support your local library more. It's so underrated and it really helps me feel connected to other readers. The book so far has been told from Augie's perspective and his older sister V's perspective. I'm really intrigued by V's thoughts on Augie and him attending school because V's perspective allowed us to see that her parents have neglected her for much of her life because of the severe needs of her younger brother. Her parents have missed a lot of her plays, haven't helped with her homework, and it's devastating to see how even though V is Augie's biggest warrior and will not allow anyone to speak a negative word about him, how she really has been neglected and feels very underappreciated by her family. And that's something that she has to keep a secret because she doesn't want August to feel like a burden upon her or upon his family. We've also learned more about August's heritage. His dad is Jewish and his mother is Brazilian. So I love knowing that Augie is biracial. Biracial children just aren't represented very well in literature, and it's exciting just to see that subtly put into the story. One of the most touching scenes I've experienced so far was when Augie goes to school for Halloween. He goes dressed up in a costume that covers his face, and he unfortunately hears kids at school talking horribly about him behind his back. And the worst part about this is that it's one of his best friends at the school that's saying the most disturbing and hurtful things. It's so difficult to capture youth and childhood because we lose perspective on that as we get older. And so it just shows that RJ is a really talented writer to be able to capture the essence of a child, because I truly feel like Summer and August are real children that I'm actually reading about. So I'm gonna stop there. I'm going to continue on to the second part of the book, and I will update you on my thoughts. So the next part of the book is told through the eyes of Summer, who is the only girl at school who's been authentically sweet and made real ties to August. I love that we get to see her perspective on August because this is the first time we've been able to view Augie without the lens of his family. On top of this outsider opinion that we're given, we see that a lot of things are happening behind August's back. You find out from Summer that some of the parents are kind of converging and talking to the principal of the school and trying to get Augie kicked out of the school because they don't believe that August belongs at Beecher Prep, which is the name of the pretty prestigious school that he's attending. They're arguing that Augie has a disability, which he actually does not, and therefore, because it's not a special needs school, that he doesn't have a place there, which is really fucked up, but ultimately not surprising. And I love that RJ included this aspect of the story because she's showing that prejudice in these situations doesn't just come from kids, right? Like, a lot of the bullying isn't just from children, but it comes from adults as well. And with that, I'm going to run to my library to pick up a book and then to return, is it on here? It's not on my bookshelf, but I'm going to be returning A Blade So Black. That book was horrible. And I will be picking up Landline by Rainbow Rowell because Common Spence and Chelsea Dowling have both heavily recommended this book to me, and I'm excited to read it.
Look at my new Christmas books. I'm so excited.
Dropped my library books off and look what I picked up. So excited for my Christmas reads. Swedish meatballs cooking for dinner in the new crock pot. Fancy. Hello, I am back to give you my thoughts on the final portion of this book. The only thing that's bugged me is that the ending of the story does not focus on V's neglect. I feel like we weren't really given resolution about how V isn't very much the focus of her family. Although I know that there's a sequel to this, so maybe in the sequel it focuses on that. I loved how the story expanded far beyond August. It was told from multiple perspectives, Summer's boyfriend, two of the kids at school, and Augie, and each of these kids had their own problems. They weren't just a voice by which we were allowed to see August's character. They were their own characters even without him, and we got to experience their stories and their struggles as well. For example, Summer is extremely pretty and well-liked, but she feels that she doesn't fit in, and she very much doesn't. And she also captures what it's like to be a kid growing up and to kind of resist the process of growing up. So on page 120, this is one of my favorite parts of the book. She says, one of the things I'm not loving about this year is how a lot of kids are acting like they're too grown up to play things anymore. All they want to do is hang out and talk at recess. And all they talk about is who likes who and who is cute and isn't cute. August doesn't bother about that stuff. He likes to play Foursquare at recess, which I love to play too. And I loved this part because it brought me back to being this age and noticing these trends, like noticing kids wanting to like be mature and grow up. And I really wasn't about it. Like I was like, I want to watch Sailor Moon and read comics and play with my Barbies, which I still did at like age 10, you know? So I really related to that part of the story. So for one, I hope that the movie appropriately addresses and acknowledges how V is often neglected in her family, and I would love to see some resolution on that topic. I really hope that August's parents are portrayed as multiracial characters because they are in the book. So it would be great if August's dad is cast as a Jewish man, if August's mother is cast as a Brazilian woman. I'm kind of paranoid that they will end up being whitewashed in the movie. I'm also paranoid about Summer being whitewashed because she is black and white, and if she is If she's a white girl in the movie, I'm just gonna fucking lose it. So I hope that that doesn't happen. There is exponential character growth throughout this book. It's only like 330 pages, but the characters truly open up, and I hope the movie adequately expresses that. Also, I hope that the movie doesn't portray August as a saint or as a martyr. August is a very moody and emotional not teenage, but adolescent boy in the book. He can be very irritable and sulky and sometimes unkind, just like any other kid. And I hope that the movie just doesn't kind of portray him as innocent, you know, the entire time, because he definitely makes mistakes in the book as well. So without further ado, let's just get into the movie. All right, y'all, I am ready. I have my Boom Chica popcorn, kettle style, and then a big bag of Lay's. Now let's start the movie. Oh my God, just load, damn. I am literally dying waiting for my Hulu to load. Like, I just reached my 27th birthday. What the hell? Okay, let's find Wonder. I love how my Hulu is all of a sudden acting like I'm not on it every day, all day. Thanks. Like, you know I have no life and spend all of my time on this thing. Like, what the hell? I can't do this. We're not even 2 minutes into the movie and I've already teared up. The scene where August is born and his parents realize that something isn't quite right with his face really got to me, because so he's born and then he's immediately kind of shown as being removed from the birthing room. How horrifying would it be to have carried a baby for 9 months and to immediately have it taken from your arms? You're not even allowed to see it. No one's told you anything. And I'm just thinking about how difficult and emotional that must have been, and terrifying that must have been for that mother. I don't know if I could do this, y'all. I love this actor. He always plays a nerdy educator. He's amazing. Also, I feel like if I were a man, that's exactly what I would look like. Like, that's me as a boy. This early in the morning can tell us a lot about ourselves. Who is it that I aspire to be? Your wife. The question that we should be asking ourselves all the time. So that's Augie's mom, Julia Roberts, who is definitely not Brazilian, but you know what, I'll let it slide. And that's his father, Owen Wilson, who actually I think is Jewish. A what? From what I've read, I'm not quite sure. These kids today, it's basically an iPhone. You know, it doesn't. Still kind of feel like it's being, his parents are being whitewashed, but you know what, I'm just gonna let it go. Okay, so they whitewashed her parents, but I think they made her boyfriend into a young black boy. I'm so excited. Yes, that's him. Okay. Okay, I'm not mad anymore because they just did a flashback to when the grandma was still alive, and she is a Latin woman. So you know what? I take back what I said. I stand corrected.
You are my favorite.
My heart, I can't deal with this.
You're my favorite too, Gramps.
Stop, I can't.
What happened
Oh
with
my
your
God, look at Summer. She's so cute. I'm dying. All she needs is a little bow tie.
I got it.
I hate this fucking movie. So I just finished Wonder. I definitely got emotional a couple times while watching it. It was everything that I wanted it to be and a little bit more. My only real and biggest complaint is that the little kid who is representing Augie is a child actor who has applied cosmetic makeup to make him look like he has facial deformities. I understand that the deformities that August has in particular are incredibly rare, but we definitely have actors, we definitely have child actors who have deformities, who really desperately want to be on screen. And we had an opportunity to let one of them tell their own story on screen. How impactful and powerful would that have been? And how inspiring would that have been to other children who have deformities? But time and time again, Hollywood producers and writers, when they have the chance to give true representation, they drop the ball time and time again. And a big part of the reason that they get away with this is because us as viewers keep letting it happen. You know, when Eddie Redmayne and Jared Leto got awards for playing transgender women, we keep telling people from marginalized communities that they're not good enough to play their own stories. And we can keep making excuses as to why we continuously fail to add true representation, but at the end of the day, they're all excuses, and for those of us who don't have facial deformities, we really don't get a say in this matter, right? Like, we really don't get to justify why this keeps being allowed to happen on screen. I hate this message that children, people with disabilities, minorities, LGBTQ people keep receiving, and the message is always, you're not good enough. You're not good enough to be the protagonist, and you're not good enough to tell your own story. And it truly breaks my heart. Other than that, the movie was phenomenal. The book is phenomenal. It's a truly beautiful story. The characters feel alive and real. They're all relatable. And I feel like a changed person for having read this very special little book. And I hope you do the same. All right, y'all, I'm gonna be signing off. Stay sharp. I will see you next time.